Good evening, YouTube. So, came back to work actually Sunday evening. Today's Monday, now it's Monday evening. So I'm at Cloverdale, Indiana. I picked up I left last night, picked up a load early this morning in Springfield, Missouri, and so I'm on my way to deliver to Lansing, Michigan. So I've got 291 more miles to go according to the GPS, and the load delivers at 4:30. It's got a 4:30 a.m. appointment on the 30th. So let's see, today was the 29th, or I'm sorry, on the 1st, October the 1st. Get my things right. The 10-1. So I've
1.8 miles, then turn left on South Street.
Oh, I guess the Garmin just decided to talk. Sometimes it does that. After I've stopped, and I've been stopped here now for probably 10 minutes. So anyway, I've got 290, yeah, it still says 291 miles to go, and so I've got all day tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 30th, and then, as I say, the load delivers on 10/1 at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time, so basically kind of in the middle of the night. So I was going to put up a video last night, and I recorded one, and I actually even got it uploaded, and then I thought, well, I never tested it. Because I've had a problem once before with no sound in the video, and so I thought, well, I better check that, and so I did, and come to find out there was no sound. It was my mistake. Didn't get the microphone plugged in properly. So I deleted it, and I put up a video of the Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue motorcycle rally. They had a parade. They have a parade that kind of, towards, because the thing goes on for 4 days. So Saturday evening, they have a parade, or late Saturday afternoon, and so I put a video up with that. I had that. Was able to take that. So got that video put up there. So while I was home, I got the deep cleaning done on my teeth, so-called deep cleaning. They did this side of my mouth, both upper and lower. And they did about half of it. So whenever I go home the next time, they'll do the other side. That turned out to be not as bad as I thought it would be. Just from people telling me about it, a couple of people over the years have told me about them having it. And of course, if you read about it on the internet, it sounds like, there's a lot of negative stuff with it. So, but my mouth was sore the day they did it, but by the end of the day, it wasn't that bad, and it wasn't all that bad anyway. It wasn't, I didn't take any kind of pain pills or didn't, and I was still able to eat. I didn't eat until the numbness, the technician told me not to eat until the numbness was completely gone, because I'd probably be chewing on my tongue and I wouldn't know it. And so I took her advice, and I waited until the numbness completely went away, and then I was able to eat, and no problem. And so anyway, that worked out. And I can see why they do half at once, because then you can still chew on the other side, because it is, it is kind of sensitive, and it does make the gums bleed, at least for a while, until, probably bled initially, not a whole lot really, but it did bleed a little bit initially, and then that stopped. And so it's, there's parts of it that are still just, a little bit tender, like if I hit it with the floss, because I floss my teeth with dental floss, and so there's some places where it just, you can tell it's still a little bit tender, but otherwise feels pretty well normal. And that happened on Wednesday, and of course today is, was today Monday? Yeah, I think so. I believe today was Monday. So anyway, did that while I was home, and then I also got this. This is Samsung Galaxy Tab 3, 8-inch, 16 gigabytes of memory. It has an SD slot, so I've put in a 32 gigabyte SD card. Actually, the one that came out of my phone, because I replaced the one here in my phone with a 64 gigabyte chip that I bought off Amazon. I think it was like $36 and change through Amazon Prime. I wanted to up the space on the phone. I could have went to 120 gigabytes, but those are, those chips are kind of pricey. They're $100 or more, and so the 64 was $36, the one I ended up buying, and it works great and gives me lots more space. So just swap that out, and then like I say, I put that in here, and I haven't even really put anything on the chip that I have in here. So anyway, this I paid $1.99 for this on HSN, Home Shopping Network. Amazon is selling these for around $2.39. This is the Tab 3. This is the Tab 3, and so if let's see, that's a website, I guess. So if I push the button there, you can, it kind of looks, it's a familiar Samsung version of Android, so-called TouchWiz. And so what I primarily use this for, I have a mount that I hook it up on the dash with, that where I had the Nexus 7 at, and so I primarily end up using this in the truck for things like, this is the Google Maps. That's the Google Maps right there. And I also use it for, oops, what did I do here? Let's see here. I also use it for the Stitcher application. I stream all the podcasts that I listen to through Stitcher, and so that works really well. And I use the Google, the Google Music. I pay for access to that, and I've had that for quite a few months now, and that works really well as far as being able to stream music from Google, and I end up with new stuff and so on and so forth. And there's really no point in owning stuff anymore if you just pay for access, because I won't buy anything new. And then the other thing that's kind of nice on this size of a device is Flipboard. And most people are probably familiar with Flipboard, but it's kind of slick because you can, I'm waiting for my internet connection here. There we go. So that's pretty slick. It's kind of like a magazine type experience, and it's also, it gives you a nice size font. And of course, if you turn it that way, you end up with, it goes the other way, as far as, but I kind of like it in vertical position. So, but the Flipboard is pretty cool because you can, it's a reader basically, and you can put almost anything in it, and it kind of gives, these are really web pages, blogs and different articles, and it basically, it formats it into a really nice magazine format. Of course, it's available for iPad and Android both, and so Flipboard is pretty cool. And I've got other things loaded on here as well, but that's primarily what I wanted this for, was mapping functions. And so it, for $1.99 I couldn't go wrong. Of course, it has an integrated GPS chip, and I also use it to find truck stops with. I've got if I can find it, let's see. It's called Truck and Travel, and I've probably showed this before. Let's see, where's it at? There it is, right there. And I have to pay for that, the Truck and Travel, but that's pretty handy because it shows you can see where, it's going to be hard to see because I'm showing a screen and video, but each one of these, the black things is basically, that's a truck stop, and so if I tap on the truck stop, then it asks me, do you want to display such and such, and if I say okay, then it displays pertinent information, you know, like this truck stop where I'm at here at Cloverdale, Indiana. It says that there's 70 truck parking spaces, 2 diesel lanes, 7 showers. It has a trucker lounge, local restaurant, ATM, FedEx, UPS, RVs welcome, scales, travel store, so on and so forth. And so that's useful information to know, you know, like, you know, how many parking spaces there are and so on and so forth. That's really helpful to kind of know. So that app, that's another, you know, kind of a mapping type information app that I use constantly, and it does make use of the GPS as well. You know, it makes use, because it centered it right where I'm at, and I'm at the Cloverdale Plazas where I'm parked at, the one that I just tapped on. So that's pretty, you know, those are really handy, and what's really handy is that, you know, I have this mount that I attach it right to the windshield with, and it's right there in front of me, right above my dash, and it's just right there. It's handy if I'm looking at the map, or if I'm using it as the GPS through Google, then it comes right up, and it's just right there, and it's easy to see. Or if I have instructions that I take a picture with the phone, and then I send that to Dropbox, and then I'm able to go to Dropbox here on the device, and oh, like right here, I've got directions. That's a picture that's actually a picture that I took of the Qualcomm screen, and so, you know, I've got these pictures of that, and then I can just look at that. I can refer to that as I'm driving to the place. You know, it's like turn at the light, or turn at such and such street with a light, or whatever, and, you know, go on down to the guard shack, that type of thing. And so that's very handy to have. That information is really handy, and I don't have to fumble with my phone. I don't have to write it down on a clipboard and then fumble with the clipboard. It's just right there in front of me. So very useful to have a device like this attached to the dash, and then that way I don't have to fiddle with it. I keep my hands on the steering wheel and concentrate on what I'm doing, as opposed to trying to fumble with a clipboard or whatever else to, you know, where I've written the material down. So anyway, for $199, I feel like I couldn't go wrong. Of course, it's got integrated, you know, it's got a camera on the front and a camera on the back, and so if I want to use this as a camera, I can, which I don't really need to. Or I can, you know, I can do Skype with it, or Google Hangouts, or whatever, and it works great for that as well. And it's even got stereo speakers in it, and that's something, you know, something like an iPad doesn't have. This actually has stereo speakers, and it actually gets relatively loud. So pretty happy with that purchase. So anyway, that's pretty slick. And like I say, for $199, I couldn't go wrong. And it's, you know, I still have my iPad, but I use it. What I find that it's kind of big and bulky, and so what I end up using it for is watching videos on. That's kind of what it ends up being used as. So anyway, from Cloverdale, Indiana, I'll catch you later.